Come and go, and there's no time to understand. And I keep moving down the road, taking notes and a trembling hand.
We start our first trip of 2021 with coordinates I got off of ioverlander.com. And no, we're not getting paid by them. This location is located in the forest in the middle of nowhere. No, seriously. We went up some logging roads and went up some more logging roads and finally ended up going up some real steep gravel roads in the middle of nowhere. Seriously, I mean, there was no cell service. And we finally made it. Here we are at the exact spot that I saw on ioverlander.com. And there's somebody camping in the spot I wanted. So you're going through the forest and you see a lot of spots that say, do not trespass. They're obviously forest roads. They don't want people camping there. Once you get to a certain point, you actually see places where people camp. In fact, you can see actual people camping there, which is kind of nice. We get here, you go up several long and winding gravel roads. I was wondering if we were going to make it a couple times, but we did. And here we are. The views are fantastic. I sort of took a spot off to the side where I'm sort of out of their way, so I wouldn't have to, cramp their style. But I just finished unpacking, which is a lot to do when it's only one person. Strangely enough, you'd think that one person would mean less stuff. Well, yes and no. Usually we bring the minivan with us and we put stuff in the minivan. This time I just sort of threw everything where it was. Just said, here, throw it here. Getting the generator out was half the fun. So I'm kind of tired. I'm going to spend the rest of the night just kind of chilling, and I'm going to crank up the generator here and get some power to the refrigerator and everything and just sort of relax. Tomorrow we'll do some metal detecting and maybe some drone work. Good night. Okay, so it's now the, I don't even know what day it is. It's Sunday. All right, so it's now Sunday, the 18th, April 18th, 2021. I just slept in. Ooh, man, I forgot my sheets. I forgot my pillow, and I forgot my blanket. Of all the things in the world to forget, I forgot them. C'est la vie. So I shivered all night. So I grabbed I have a cloth, shower curtain that I use for privacy when we go to the bathroom. Well, I'm the only one here, so they don't really need privacy. So I kind of took it off the ring and I just sort of wrapped myself around it best I could, just to give myself a little warmth. I don't know what I'm going to do for tonight. I don't have anything that's like a blanket, and I don't have anything soft enough that could be a blanket. Everything here is all plastic and such, and I toss and turn a lot, so I'll figure out tonight. Well, it's about 10:30 in the morning. I slept what I could. I went to bed around midnight-ish and woke up a lot cold and turned on the stove just to warm the place up a little bit and went back to sleep. So now I'm going to open up the door. We're going to see what this day has ahead of us. Which isn't much because I left my drone at home. I got a brand new drone. I was going to show you all. Get a good, nice aerial view of this place. I left it at home by accident, like a moron. All right, here we go. Let's see what the day has for us. Nice and quiet. I didn't even close the windows last night. Well, close the blinds, I should say. Ooh, it's warm. It's really funny. The sun comes up and it's just hot. Let's take a little look around. Stooges turned out okay. The Three Wise Men. My fire burned out. My neighbors are still there. Let's take a look-see. So I drove down here, which was fine. It was getting up here from the gravel roads. This is all trucking area. This is all trucking land, logging. The land is owned by the logging companies. Some firewood. It's warm out too, the minute the sun comes up. I don't know if I should stay or maybe go down the mountain and find a different place. I don't want to make too much noise because my neighbors are here. They might still be sleeping. Look at that view. Hey, neighbor. It was a nice little morning stroll. I head back to the RV and decide to do the one thing that I always do when I go camping.
Like 2 hours ago. But, you know, don't.
I figured this is a good time to test out my new metal detector. I cannot begin to describe the excitement of finding old beer cans and bullet casings buried in the area. My dreams of finding buried gold and silver were dashed rather quickly. After I struck it rich with old empty beer cans, I decided to wash up and make some lunch. Thinly cut pork chops cooked over a propane stove is the delicacy of the day. That's one thing I do like about this propane stove, it cooks rather quickly. After this meal, I decide to take a little walk. Okay, so there's the campsite there, and over on the other side of this camera is a little ways where you can technically do a little hiking, I suppose. So we're going to go take a gander at it and see if there's anything down there worth gandering at. The terrain is doable. You need to wear quality shoes. Keep your flip-flops at home, people. One thing I should mention is we are at least about an hour, 45 minutes away from the Oregon coast. If you brought a tow vehicle, you could very easily take some time and go to the beach. Plenty of firewood down here, although I don't really have the energy to you know, haul it up. Of course, my goal is always to find Bigfoot. And so far, nothing. You see a lot of trees that are down. Most of these have been cut or fallen over. We had a big ice storm that came through recently. I'm sure that some of it's related. The views are nice. Should have brought my my picnic basket. Of course, I got no one to picnic with. If I had internet, I could have a virtual picnic with the kids. Figure out the best way of actually getting across. Film a movie out here and not tell anybody. So that tree obviously fell. That's not a very clean cut. Though if you look at the tree, you can sort of see a stripe on it that someone painted. You can see it on this one too. Obviously not fresh. That tells me that they were keeping the trees and not tearing them down. I don't want to go too much farther down from here. See, there's one that they cut. But for the most part, this is untouched area other than some trimming. There's a good view up there. You can see the Gas Monster 3000. When I was done with that walk, I plugged my camera in to charge the battery and did some more exploring, walking down the long hill. My legs hurt for a good week. When I got back, I cooked my dinner and relaxed a bit. My trip is coming to a quick end as I have to get home. I cook my steak and start a campfire, relaxing myself to the sounds of nature and the generator running in the background. I'm having dinner here on my second night. I got here about 24 hours ago. Eating my steak dinner. I got here about 24 hours ago. And I've really enjoyed myself. It was a nice little getaway. I did a little walking around here. There's logging roads that go on for miles. I don't recommend you do that unless you're in good shape and you have good shoes. I was really tired afterwards. I'm probably going to sleep early tonight. Anyway, other than my neighbor here, I did see one other camper. If you put the coordinates of this place into Google Earth, you can see all the little roads and the camp areas and all that. The downside is it only shows you everything in 2 dimensions. So you're going to greatly be missing that extra third dimension. Speaking of missing, I find that I am sitting here missing my family. I wish they had come. I think they would have had more fun than they're willing to admit. The kids are slowly growing out of the whole camping thing, and my wife's in school. In fact, the children absolutely hate the motorhome. Dave's family RV is now Dave's pissed off family RV. It might just end up being Dave's RV, you know? But I am missing my family very much. And I'm going to go home tomorrow. I miss the kids. And I had a really nice reset here. I really needed to get out of the house. Make everything kind of seem... I really needed to get out of the house. So I'm burning all the wood. So I don't have to take it home. When you do come up here, do keep in mind of Oregon's fire laws. It's been very dry the last couple of years, and fires like this have caused a lot of problems out here on the West Coast. I have a sneaking suspicion Oregon's going to say literally no campfires starting in June and run it all the way through Labor Day. It was a fun and relaxing trip, one that I really needed. I spent the rest of my time reading and tending to the campfire. While finishing this, I made plans for my next trip out.
I am a pilgrim and I am not wanted here. Well, I walk the same roads you do, and you do not find me there. Oh, I haul a heavy burden, I haul it everywhere. Oh, I am a pilgrim and I seek what is not there. Oh, I seek what is not.
Holy cow, that's loud. All right, so here we go. The Gas Monster 3000 and I are going on another adventure. And we're going to Camp Crystal Lake. Apparently there's rumors of murders and a guy in a mask killing people. This time around, we were headed to a location I found at freecampsites.net. And no, they are not paying us for the plug. Once you get off the highway, the road is very narrow, and you don't see a lot of people. Seriously, this guy on the right, this was the last human being I saw for the next 30 minutes. My 28-foot mobile traveler was long and wide enough for this. After reading some of the reviews, I didn't see what the big deal was driving down this road. Sure, it's a little narrow, but it's not bad at all, and the views are very pretty. But then, I came to a fork in the road. The GPS told me to turn left. I don't know what's on the right side, but I figure I'll check it out some other time. At this point, the roads are nothing but gravel and dirt. Seriously, don't come down here during the wet season. One stretch had giant potholes. I mean, look at these. Seriously, I'm pretty sure something from space hit it and killed the dinosaurs off. I had to go very slowly over this part. This is why you want to leave those big rigs at home. The location we're going to is actually perfect for tent camping or van camping. After a short while of having all these branches hit my motorhome, I finally saw some stable road up ahead. I was extremely happy about that, believe me. This gravel stretch was about 25 minutes long, give or take. My GPS decided it was going to tell me that, oh, you've got 6 minutes left to get there. Oh, now you've got 17 minutes. Now you've got 4. Now you got 23. I kept thinking to myself, boy, I sure hope this is worth it. I hadn't seen another human being for roughly 30 minutes. And then I get to the very, very top, and I see a truck with a flat tire. Well, after I make sure they're okay, I decide to go out and find myself a camping spot. I wanted a spot right next to the river. You can see over to the right, there are some people camping over there. After I drive by them, I find this spot right here. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll camp here. Kept looking at it and thinking, nah, not this spot. Let's go a little further ways down and see if we can find something a little bit better. Fortunately, there was one right around the corner. I pull into the spot and try to get the vehicle square. It's not easy in a 28-foot motorhome. you just kind of make do with what you got. All right, and we're finally here. Basic campsite. I got to get everything set up, literally. You see, everything's all shoved in there. So it'll take about an hour, and then I'll get a fire started and sleep. You can sort of see the sun setting behind me. And the windows. Yeah, you can see that. You can still get. So I pulled up here. There's no we, it's just me. I pulled up here, it's just me again. And I'll tell you, those roads were gnarly. I'll show you the video. I'll tell you, those roads were pretty intense. I lost the cover of my, for my hot water heater. Seriously, the cover of it is gone. I don't know where it is or where I can get another one. But anyway, I pulled up. I didn't see another human being for 30 minutes, and I pulled up, and there's people everywhere. And I don't know how they got up here. If they went the same way I did, or if there's another way in and out of here that I just don't know about. Either way, I would recommend looking at another way to get in and out of here. All the spots next to the lake are taken. I did park, and I'm camped out right where people are kind of driving by. If they choose to drive by, there's not a lot of traffic here. It's dark now. I just sort of unpacked, got everything ready, and then just sort of decided to just chill. I'm usually pretty tired when once we're all done with this. Yeah, that's that. So I'm gonna make myself a little bite to eat, and then I'm probably gonna play on my phone a bit and go to bed. I got 3 bars of cell coverage up here. 3 bars. But I'm with Cricket, so, you know, a real class act place, let me tell you. But Verizon is known to have about 3 bars up here as well. So there is cell coverage here. So tomorrow we're going to go out and explore a little bit more, and you'll see exactly what this place has for you. All right, I just woke up about 10 minutes ago. Oh, I just got here last night. I pulled in, made something to eat. Oh, can almost see myself. Made something to eat. Already got mosquitoes in here. Anyway, just woke up a few minutes ago. I didn't sleep very well last night, and I don't know why. I think I kept hearing noises. I think that I wasn't used to. I think that's what playing with my brain as I was trying to sleep. And you know what it was? Is it was raining. It actually rained last night, and we were parked underneath these giant trees. And these giant trees, they're collecting the rain, of course, and then they make bigger drops as the drops fall down. And I'm laying there trying to sleep, and all of a sudden I hear blop. I'm on the roof. I'm like, is there a squirrel up there? What's going on? So anyway, I was dealing with that. So that was my big thing. And today we're going to go do a little bit of exploring, but I'm going to have some breakfast, and I'm going to heat it up in here. It's a bit chilly. It's a wee bit chilly in here, you know. But this time around, I remembered my my bedding, unlike my last trip. And I slept nice and toasty warm. I didn't know it was this chilly in here until I woke up. So, with that said, a little bit of breakfast, watch a wee bit of television, and try to wake up a bit for the morning, you know. And we'll explore a little bit. Do a little bit of exploring, see what this place has to offer for the camper. For the campers. Now that I've had a chance to stop and look, the campsite's actually quite nice compared to everybody else's. I decided to take a short stroll up to the lake to see what's up there. There's 0 amenities at this location. It's literally dispersed camping, but there is a pit toilet available. The views are extraordinary and the hike is definitely worth it, but be sure to wear comfortable shoes. Some of the ground is quite firm and easy to walk on, while others, not so much. The weather was really foggy, but it was really pretty out. people were out fishing, or at least trying to. You can see the fish literally jumping out of the lake, but nobody was really catching anything. There's a trail that literally goes all the way around the lake. I walked it a few times and got some really good video. Wear some good shoes. Have I mentioned that before? You can walk the entire circumference of this lake. I've been walking for about 30 minutes now, and I've enjoyed the views and taken some really good video. I was under the impression you could actually camp on the banks of the lake. It turns out you cannot. You camp where, well, we are camping, where I am camping, and you just walk to the lake. Plenty of fishing, but one of the locals told me that you really can't catch anything except for really small ones, this time of year at least. There are plenty of small ones. They're jumping out of the water. You can see them getting up out of the, getting some air. It was actually kind of nice. There's a small boat dock just as you enter in here that's designed for small boats, non-motorized boats. You'll be able to bring your boat in there. That's probably your best bet if you're going fishing. As you can see, it's pretty foggy up here. We're kind of up on a mountain towards the coast. And the rains are starting. The rains are picking up, so I'm probably going to head back. This is the warmest clothes I brought with me, and I don't want to spend the entire time dodging the rain. There's a lot of little campsites, as you can see here. This is a great spot if you've got a family and you got a tent. Someone even put up a clothesline over there where you could, you know, wash your clothes and just hang them up to dry, which would be nice if it wasn't raining. But there's all these little spots like this kind of tucked away. You kind of have to look for it, or maybe, you know where they are in the first place. And after a long walk, it's time to go back to the RV and rest my tired feet. Well, I just did an entire walk around the entire lake. It's called South Lake. I thought it was called Silver Lake. My mistake. One thing I'm always amazed by is how people don't pick up their trash. Pick up your trash, people. Take only pictures, leave only footprints. Do you know where you are? I mean, seriously, you're in a national forest. There's not anybody who gets paid to pick up your trash. I don't know why I'm surprised. People freaked out because they had to wear a mask in public and they can't pick up their own garbage. There are a lot of people out there who love to make fun of the Gas Monster 3000 over on the YouTube comments. I'll tell you, I absolutely love this thing. It's got some work that it's had done. It's got some work that it needs done now. The engine is just purring now. And then there's some work on the inside and the apartment side that it needs some work on. Specifically, the door doesn't close all the way, and I'm trying to figure out why. But there are people out there who seem to think that it makes total sense to literally take out a loan for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Some of the brand new ones cost $200,000. Brand new motorhomes. Can you believe that? People take out loans to purchase an apartment on wheels. Understand that this is not property like a house on land. this is a vehicle. It loses value the minute you sign the paperwork. So the idea of going into deep amount of debt to purchase an apartment on wheels is insane to me. Literally, just buy one. Yeah, it may be older. Yeah, there's parts that you got to fix on it. But let me tell you, the stories I've heard about the new ones, things start breaking on it the minute you pick it up from the off the showroom floor. And of course, once the warranty expires, you're pretty much on your own anyway. So what's the point? Go ahead and buy one that needs a little TLC and give it the TLC that it needs. Once it gets to a point where, well, okay, maybe I should just buy another one anyway, go ahead and just go buy another one. Going into large amounts of debt just to go camping makes no sense. I'm paying nothing to be camping here. Zero. The only thing I paid for was a fat load of gas just to get here. It's 2 hours one way from where I live. It's 2 hours home. I spent $70 on gas to get here yesterday. I'll spend $70 on Monday to go home. So the idea of spending all this money to go camp at a campsite where you're 2 feet away from your neighbor is insane to me. Absolutely insane. I don't get it. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Really relaxing here. I was hoping to take my drone out if it would just stop raining. This fog would make some awesome footage, but we'll see. Remember when I did a review of the Lion Energy Cub Go? Turns out it's pretty useless, except for charging your devices. So as you can see, I'm charging my drone and a telephone at the same time. Telephone. It's rotary, like our grandmothers used to use. Anyway, this is what I use to charge my phone up at night when there's literally, no power at all. And then I plug it in during the day when I have the generator on. But that's neither here nor there. Cooking lunch as we speak. And hoping to get some metal detecting work after this. But I will say this little bad boy, if I can get a light on. Nah, not that it really mattered. This little bad boy, the Balder, it's a 330 watt. This thing's really kind of neat. I bought this because my wife needed to, she's got to sleep with a CPAP machine. And this thing will power a CPAP for about 3.5, 4 hours. This thing will power, at a full charge, this thing will power it for about 16 hours, give or take. That's, 2 nights if you happen to not get any charge on it, but hopefully you do. Either way, it works really well. I keep it as with me, just sort of as a backup. It's got every plug-in. You can even charge a phone up here that will allow you to charge it up there. Mine doesn't because it's old and I'm cheap. But this unit, yeah, I strongly recommend this thing. Then I decide to take some time and test my new metal detector. I wanted to see if I could find any leftover treasures that people kind of accidentally dropped. Yep, I found a couple nails and some spikes used to keep tents from flying away. So after I was done doing the metal detecting thing, I thought it would be fun to use my drone. You see, I got this just so I can take aerial video of places that I camp. Well, apparently drones and I don't get along. This is the third drone I've ever owned in my life. No. I used it once at the local elementary school and it worked just fine. I was able to use it without an issue. This is the second day I've ever used this thing. Look at this. I have to have the battery out. Do you know why I have to have the battery out? Because watch this if I slide the battery in. It's not even on. Seriously, it's not even on. I have to slide the battery out to get this hunk of crap to stop moving. And for those of you who are wondering, this thing happens to be a Hollystone HS Series HS110D. I don't know if it's supposed to be any good or not. The reviews didn't say anything terrible. I got it because it said it's good for beginners, and guess what? I'm a beginner. And like I said earlier, I actually used this for a day. The kids and I went to the school and we flew it around. I took video of them. I put it on my Facebook. It was great. And then today, guess what? Seriously, I can't fly this thing. I tell it to do one thing, it does exactly the opposite. It's like having children. This thing is a hunk of crap. Crap, I tells ya. I'm gonna try and get my money back from Hollystone through Amazon, and I'll be sure to let you know how that works out, because this thing shouldn't be doing this when it's not powered on. Okay, so it's what day is it? Saturday? It's let's take a look at my phone and see what time it is. It's 9:25. I woke up about an hour ago. I've been kind of just doling around. It is May 1st, 2021. It's like exactly the same weather as it was yesterday. Slightly less moist. And getting kind of tired of this crappy weather. There's a part of me who's thinking maybe I should just go home early. If it's just gonna do nothing but be crappy out, I mean, it's hard to, have fun. If I leave, it'll be tomorrow. And tomorrow is supposed to be a nicer day, and then Monday it's supposed to get really nice. I actually was speaking with one of my neighbors down the way yesterday, and she was informing me that up until yesterday the weather was beautiful out here. She said her kids got a little sunburned because the weather was so nice, and then I show up and the rain starts. Yeah, that's how it is. I don't really have much on my agenda today. Maybe do a little more metal detecting. Go for a few walks, but I really got nothing to do. There's nothing to do. The TV, I spent $20 on that TV. I guess you get what you pay for. The DVD player works when it wants to. You really kind of got to let it get warmed up before it'll actually play a picture. So I'm going to finish the movie I started yesterday. The classic known as Joe Dirt. But until then, I'm just warming the place up a bit and going to have some breakfast. Not sure what I'm going to eat yet, but... Alright. Can you see me? Oh, now you can see the reflection off my dome. Let's see if I can get something else here. Hold on. That's a little better. That should be a little better. Yeah, it's a little better. So I just went for a hike, and I got decent views behind me. I just went for a hike. I walked around South Lake again, and I should have brought the camera because there were some guys on kayaks out there fishing, and it was rather adorable. They seem to be having a lot of fun. It's really cold. It's really cold out. Some of my neighbors are packing up and taking off and going home, which I was not expecting for a Saturday. But, it is what it is. I'm not going to go far or do anything exciting today. I think I'm just going to hang tight here and do some reading and try to get the DVD player to work. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have a lazy day. It's just really chilly out. You've got this, we're less than an hour away from the actual coast, from Lincoln City, Oregon. So you've got this moist, cold air coming in off the Pacific Ocean, and it's just, you can feel it in your bones, even though it's May 1st, even though it's technically a decent temperature. You just feel this cold moisture hitting you. And so I am just sitting in this camper. I'm sitting in the motorhome, and I am literally just, I got the burners on the stove on just to warm the place up a bit. And I think I'm just going to hang tight. Tomorrow's my last day here, my last full day. I may hang out a little bit on Monday, but according to the forecast, tomorrow's supposed to be partly cloudy, partly sunny. And so, I'll probably do most of my fun then. And then on Monday, it's supposed to pour down rain all the way home. A father and son pass by on their way hiking. How cute. DVD player is actually built into the television. You insert the DVD, this little spinny disc icon thingy kind of shows up, and then it spins, and it scans, which is kind of half the battle, because sometimes it doesn't even do that before it ejects the disc. And it scans, and then it scans, and when it's done scanning, it scans some more, almost as though it's an actual blank disc. And when it's done scanning, it scans a little bit more. And then it keeps scanning. This is kind of maddening when all you want to do is kind of watch something while you're cleaning up, or have some background sounds, or actually just watch a movie. And then next thing you know, it decides to tell you that, hey, guess what? There's no disc. Have a nice day. Lunchtime brings tenderloin steaks. Got these on sale. Very excited by it because they're just, like they say, nice and tender. And then I spend my lunchtime playing on my phone and eating tenderloin steak. Well, I get a little tired of sitting on my butt, so I break out the metal detector and decide to go through empty campsites to see if I can find any treasure. And the treasure that I find is garbage. No, literal garbage. Nothing but garbage. People can't pick up their trash. Empty beer cans, old nails, spikes that people leave behind. Just trash. I did a little metal detecting and found nothing but, trash. I'm starting to think that this hobby may not be as much fun as I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of digging in this hobby. You're constantly digging. Anyway, it is cold out here, so I'm actually headed back to the RV and gonna just sit there because it's just too cold. It's cold. It's cold. A couple hours later, the wind actually shifts and starts pushing the cold air out west towards the actual coast. So I decided to grab my fishing pole and my tackle box and try my luck trying to catch a fish. Did I mention you should wear some decent shoes? Unfortunately, there were some drunk, obnoxious people literally across the lake cursing as loud as they could, not caring how many children are around to hear it. Should have brought a chair. My back's getting a little tight. But I gotta catch dinner. All right, changed my bait. I got can you see that orange? Yeah, you can see that orange. Changing the bait. See if the fish like the smell. There's a fish right there, I'm looking at it. The large fish didn't live to be large fish by falling for my bait. The smaller fish, there's tons of them. They stock this lake up. So you have plenty of fishing you can do. But in about 4 months, during the summertime, it's going to be really good fishing here. There's also going to be 1,000 idiots here making gobs of noise. Those drunken fools are over there on their ATVs. It's not a popular thing to say, but the ATVs really rip up the land. I'm sure they're a lot of fun, but they do rip the land up a lot. Not a nibble. I'll try it over here. I doubt I'll get much difference. I'm a brain surgeon, There we go. Well, at least it's about to get quieter. What? I heard a woman just say she caught something. More than I got. Man, I'll tell you, if I had to feed my family off my fishing skills, we'd all be 12 pounds. Well, I didn't catch any fish, unfortunately, so I head back to the campsite and start a fire and just kind of try to enjoy the rest of the night. So I woke up maybe an hour and a half ago. And yeah, my TV's still not. I wanted to have a, watch a little something while I'm kind of cleaning up around the place. And it's not cooperating. But last night I was just kind of sitting in the dark and playing on my phone and all that good stuff, like a lot of people do before they go to bed. And my generator stalled out on me, and I thought that was, I thought it was kind of weird, but it happened. So yeah, it was getting kind of late. It was about 9:20, 9:25-ish. And so I just went to bed. I didn't even go outside and investigate. I just went to bed. And I woke up this morning, I went to turn the generator on, and I noticed it was in the off position. So someone last night came up to my campsite and actually turned the generator off, which is really strange. I've not had any experience with people walking into other people's campsites or anything like that, and nobody bothered to knock on the door and say, hey man, listen, we're trying to sleep. I'm also far enough away that you can't even really hear the generator at other people's campsites. So it kind of flummoxed me. I always turn it off before 10, but whichever. I'm giving some thought a little bit today about actually going home a day early because, well, the weather's kind of, and last night it poured down rain last night. And so there's actually all these puddles outside. I'll show them to you later. And now I'm like, the weather forecast said originally like partly cloudy, partly sunny. And I thought, well, we could have some fun in the sun. But now I'm kind of like, well, God, there's really not a lot to actually do. It's cold, it's wet, it might be raining, there's no sun. My neighbor who said the other day that it was really sunny until I got here, her and her family took off in the middle of the night. Maybe they turned off the generator as a prank on the way out. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, so stay tuned. I do one last walk around the area, try to look at places I necessarily didn't see when I was there the first time. Most of the other campers are actually packing up and leaving. It is Sunday after all. I go ahead and just let my fire burn out because, well, I'm going to be leaving anyway, so what the heck. And here we go. Seriously. Here we are. I've decided that I'm going to come home early, a day early. I'm almost out of food. So I think it's probably a good idea to, go where there's food. Either way, I think I've pretty much seen everything there is to see around here. I went fishing. I wrestled with a drone. I went metal detecting. About as much as I could. Time to move on to the next adventure. That and I'm really craving tacos. Seriously, you get out here in the middle of nowhere and your cravings just hit. And all I want right now is a freaking Taco Bell taco. And there ain't no Taco Bell for another hour and a half from me. It's brutal. But I packed everything up. I packed up everything and put it inside, and we're pretty much ready to go, or I should say I'm pretty much ready to go, except for the fire, which I'm gonna just sit here and enjoy and let it burn out. And I'm gonna take off. Head home. And so I head down the winding roads again, and as you can see, they're pretty narrow. As you can tell, you do have to share the roads with other vehicles. This is the first time I've ever run into another vehicle. And he was smart and got out of my way. Of course, I am 5 times his size. Next thing you know, you're going down the gnarly, crater-fested road. I was looking for my hot water heater cover, but unfortunately, no, I did not find it. But these potholes were so deep. I mean, literally, things were flying around in the back of the RV. Things coming off of shelves. There was just no way around it, unless you fasten everything down. I could go swimming in this one. Next thing I know, I see this guy in, I believe it's a Nissan, kind of a sporty looking vehicle that really shouldn't be on this road. I make it down and around the bend, and on the left I see a group of people literally target practicing, both firearms and bow and arrow. As I'm driving down, I'll tell you right now, I get to the fork, I have never been more happy to see paved road in my life. Seriously, it took about 25 minutes to get to that point. And as you all know, I always like to drop my tanks, my black water and my gray water, before I get home. What most people don't know is that pretty much all the state parks in Oregon, you can empty your tanks for free. Just go ahead and pull on in, park it up, and empty your tanks. It was a nice hour-long drive home from this point. See you next time.